I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. We'll go for a roll call. Michael Ham, present. Rachel Silverman.
Present.
Stephen Kelly.
Present.
Joseph Ferraro.
Present.
Randall Leverett.
Present.
Trevor Kerwin.
Present.
And Costa Well.
Here.
Thank you very much. The mission statement of the Ulster County Industrial Development Agency is to advance the job opportunities, general prosperity, and long-term economic vitality of Ulster County residents by targeting tax incentives, bonding, and other assistance to foster creation and the attraction of new business and the retention and expansion of existing businesses. Public comment at this time? Any public comment? No. Executive session, none is necessary. We'll move into 7 organizational resolutions. We'll open with the, so we've got the elections going here, okay?
Yeah, so if you look at, I have an annual housekeeping resolution in your material. So the way this is set up, if you look at Schedule A to same, I think it's a little differently than we've done before. We have all the appointments of the different committees, Finance Committee, Governance Committee, and the appointment of the officers themselves. So you should look through those different committee compositions and officer compositions to make sure that we're all in agreement with that. If not, we can make changes, but the idea would be kind of kitchen sink. We would adopt this resolution and authorize everything that's in Schedule A.
Mr. Chair, I move that we adopt everything in Schedule F.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we need to do a roll call vote on that?
Probably should.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Okay. So first we got to do a motion, right?
We can do first and second,
Okay.
Randall, Costume, and then we just do roll call.
Okay. We'll go to a roll call vote. Michael Ham, yes. Rachel Silverman,
Yes.
Stephen Kelly,
Yes.
Joseph Ferraro,
Yes.
Randall Leverett,
Yes.
Trevor Kerwin,
Yes.
Costa Well.
Yes.
Okay. All right. The election of balance of officers is going to be the same. Let it reflect the roll call vote we just have. Annual housekeeping resolution on page 3. We just covered that. So we are good on the organizational resolutions. Okay. Is there any old business? Any old business? Is there any new business? Any new business?
I put the
IDA meeting calendar.
Yep, on the back. That's our.
On the back. Okay. So on the back, you guys will have the breakdown of every meeting coming through 2025. Okay. Thank you, Hillary and Natalie, for that. You're still going to have to send out the notices.
Oh yeah, we will. Just so everyone
Okay.
knows, the legislative person that typically schedules has changed, and they just ask that any requests or changes to our calendar be finalized by the Friday before, and that goes for committee meetings as well. So if we need to make changes, even if it is more than the 3 days notice that we require for the public notification, to be mindful of the schedule of that noon by the Friday prior, any changes to be sent to them for their scheduling.
Okay. Thank you, Hillary. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Let's see. That's regular meeting agenda over there, so we can roll right in, right? Well, no, we need to do the annual over here. Okay. So the UCCRC annual meeting agenda, roll call. Michael Ham, present. Rachel Silverman,
Present.
Stephen Kelly,
Present.
Joseph Ferrara,
Present.
Randall Leverett,
Present.
Trevor Kerwin,
Present.
and Costume Well.
Present.
Thank you. With that, the mission statement of the Ulster County Capital Resource Corporation is to promote community and economic development in Ulster County in ways that complement the work of Ulster County, primarily through issuing and selling bonds for nonprofit institutions. Public comment? No public comment at this time. Organization resolutions, can we let it reflect, or do we should take another roll call vote, though?
We should absolutely adopt this.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, just have the motion. Sorry, so the Schedule A reflects the just mirrors the same members of the different boards, and you're approving the different policies and procedures of the CRC. So,
Okay, can I get
I move
a,
we adopt the
thank you.
resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, roll call vote. Michael Ham, yes. Rachel Silverman,
Yes.
Stephen Kelly,
Yes.
Joseph Ferraro,
Yes.
Randall Leverett,
Yes.
Trevor Kerwin,
Yes.
and Costa-Wall.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Is there any old business? Any old business? Is there any new business? Any new business? Calendar is on the back. Once again, we'll reflect on Hillary's, her notes from the first one, okay? So anything we need to do, let's get notifications out. Okay, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. All right, now feast your eyes on the very thick package. So we'll call this regular meeting agenda for the UCIDA to order. We did already do the Pledge of Allegiance, so I'll move into the roll call. Michael Ham, present. Rachel Silverman.
Present.
Stephen Kelly.
Present.
Joseph Ferraro.
Present.
Randall Leverett.
Present.
Trevor Kerwin.
Present.
And Costa-Wall. Thank you very much. In front of you, well, let me do the mission statement of the Ulster County Industrial Development Agency is to advance the job opportunities, general prosperity, and long-term economic vitality of Ulster County residents by targeting tax incentives, bonding, and other assistance to foster creation and attraction of new business and the retention and expansion of existing business. With that, in front of you, you'll have the regular board minute meetings from December 18th. On page 3, I ask that you review those, and we'll move to get a motion to accept.
Move to accept the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Public comment on agenda items only. No public comment. Executive session, none necessary. Chair's report. So, chair's report. We're starting off at a pretty good pace here in January. I don't want to steal any thunder from the ED's report. I'm going to let her go all through that, but it's starting to really roll along here, and we're getting people through the door, and we're getting actual applications. So I don't want to jinx us, but everything's been moving pretty good. So with that, I'm looking forward to 2025 and creating some good job opportunities out here. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our executive director.
All right, thank you, Chair. So I'm going to keep it relatively short. I know everyone has a novel or a nonfiction in front of them that was not exactly a light read. So I wanted to just start with an update on our annual report. We're starting to get documents in from projects. Things are moving along really smoothly. If you have not already checked in with Natalie, please do so. She has all the final site visit assignments set up, so just confirm that with her before you leave, as well as sign your annual forms. And if you have not, please turn in a confidential board evaluation. Everything you sign in, you have to do twice. So one for CRC, one for IDA. So I just wanted to kind of move in. We had to our audit as part of our annual reporting. PKF O'Connor Davies will be on site on the 27th of this month, along with BST. We're looking forward to that. And then, we'll be doing just kind of remote with them after the site visit. And we plan to have an update for the board in February on how that went and expect the certified audit to be presented in March to the audit committee. It will be at the same time as the regular board meeting. We would encourage you to attend even if you're not a member of the audit committee. It's just kind of helpful to hear financially what's happening with the agency. I'm hoping that everyone saw that we are starting to schedule kind of some 2025 public outreach activities. When you picked up your packets, you may have seen some flyers. We have an event on the 5th. I did try to email it out to everyone, so I'm hoping you were able to get that. I know sometimes with bigger files or photos, they don't always go through. So I brought some. If you have a place you'd like to post it, please take it with you. You could share it. Steve, our web guy, was able to update our website. We have a really nice and actual working web sign up form this time, so you can also sign up online. And that's going to be at SUNY New Paltz's School of Business. We're kind of doing the ins and outs about the IDA from a business perspective, you know, our application, timelines, process, what you need to know if you're planning on, you know, starting a business here and maybe eligible for IDA incentives. We think this will be an excellent event to kind of move our mission forward, and I would encourage all of you to attend. We'd love to see some familiar faces, but, you know, again, we're looking for new faces as well. So. And we also have a training coming up with our municipalities. I don't yet have a flyer for that, but I will shortly. That's going to be on March 4th. This training is really designed to support our town supervisors, our assessors, our tax collectors. All of our trainings are also open to the public, so the public can also attend these. We understand that, like, not all of our municipalities have active IDA projects or have had the experience of working with the IDA. We really want to make sure that they understand not just who we are, but kind of the steps involved, everything from, you know, the assessors, kind of like, what does it mean when I get mail from the IDA? What should they be looking for? We want them to be informed and active in their own economic development planning. So many municipalities may not even know that we're a tool that they could use to help kind of, you know, create their vision for their community. And then as for projects, I will just say that there are a lot of things happening. Most things have a lot of moving parts, so we're doing our best to manage that, but we anticipate some fantastic things coming your way in the next few months. And then lastly, I spoke to Chris before the meeting started, so we want to just kind of do a quick get the boards to confirm. So we would like to add Joe Ferraro, our secretary, which is kind of the IDA policy, as the second signer on our bank. And one of our banks has been giving me a little bit of a rub on doing that. And so I just want to make sure it's reflected in our meeting minutes. When I bring all the documents to the bank, they can see that the board is aware that the secretary is being added to the accounts. So we were hoping that we'd get a motion.
Second.
Okay. Steve, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
So, and then I guess I'll just open it up to questions, and then we can just kind of dive into the packets in front of you.
You know, so these events that are scheduled coming up, right now there's 2 in the queue. All right?
Yep, there's 2 confirmed ones in the queue, and then we have 2 more that we're planning.
Along with that, I got to tell you that this is a good outreach to the community and to businesses that don't understand what the IDA does, or whether or not they qualify for incentives, or what they need to help their project or their business move along. So these are going to be real valuable tools, and you know, Hillary is really diving right in, and you know, just by getting some of these messages out, we're just getting calls now, just by putting this out. So when the events take place, you know, if you're available, come on out. You know, I know a handful of us went to the one in Rosendale.
It was fun.
Which was a packed house, you know, and it was great. The speakers were great, and you know, Hillary did a great job with that. So, you know, you get an opportunity, come on out, and I'm sure people will corner you and have questions for you. So, good job, Hillary.
Yeah, really great. I think from a marketing standpoint, just the fact that we have things to promote and we are promoting them, you know, like you said, is I think pretty valuable. I put it on LinkedIn, and shared it. So if anyone is on LinkedIn and wants to share it, it's there as an easy share now.
Yes, it's on our website. So
Yeah, and if you know developers, like Rachel's saying, if you know developers, anybody that wants to come out, and you know, it's what's an hour?
yeah, it's an hour and a half. We'll have some light refreshments, so it should be good, you know. And the School of Business is also a great resource too. So I went through Eliza Edge, and the Hudson Valley Venture Hub is kind of the entity who we've gone through. So I think that the nice thing about partnering with them is that if a business maybe isn't going to want to come to the IDA or the IDA just isn't a good fit for them, the Venture Hub is great for startups, for smaller businesses. So I think there will be resource. The idea is that we don't want people to be like, feel like they came and they didn't get anything from it. So we are trying to, I'm still waiting to confirm with our economic development office, and I've asked them to speak at it, as well as giving the Venture Hub some space so that, you know, there's going to be tools there for all types of businesses, but the meat of it will be about the IDA process.
And the one you don't want to miss is the municipality one on March 4th. It's going to be a plethora of information, and that's going to be the Chris Canada show.
We got this. We are. I'm
Looking
actually
forward to it.
very excited about that one. Almost as excited as Chris is. But we, you know, I spent a lot of time on the phone with assessors and municipalities and tax collectors, and sometimes I feel like both of us are kind of trying to learn to build the plane as we fly it. And now that I feel like I have my bearings a little bit better, it's a good chance for us to introduce ourselves a little more formally and kind of go through the IDA process with our community, especially people that are managing a lot of the paperwork as projects come in and as, you know, communication has to happen. We want our, you know, project applicants to also have a good customer service experience of coming to the IDA and coming into a community. And the more that we communicate with each other, the smoother those processes go. So that's our plan there.
Going to be a good 25 coming
Yes.
up here for us. All right. All right, Hel.
All right. Any questions? Okay, moving on to.
Okay, audit. We're going to go in committee reports. Audit. Steve?
The committee report in the packet.
9.
Do you want me to give a summary, Steve?
Yeah, you just go.
Sure. So we had put out for RFP, I believe in the beginning of December, end of November. I can't remember the exact date. The proposals for construction monitoring service, as per the IDA's policies, our professional services get put out for RFP on occasion, and that is where we were at. So we sent this out. I tried to get as far and wide as I could, as well as posted it on our website. And we received 2 proposals back. One from Landon and Ryan Enterprises. They're based out of Rochester, I believe, but they do have offices in Albany. And you'll find their proposal in there. And then,
Quick question.
okay, go ahead.
So, have you dealt with them before? No. Okay.
No.
Because you handle a bunch of these. So.
And
Yeah.
Loki, you've
So and then Loki Brills starting on page 59. So I did reach out, the majority of IDAs that I reached out directly, except for one, were all using Loki Brill. So I would say, you know, experience-wise, Loki Brill does bring experience working with IDAs to the table. They are current, those of you that don't know, they are a current construction monitoring group. I really don't know much about the other one, although they were responsive. I think if you notice in Landon and Ryan's fee proposal on page 53, it's an hourly rate for services, where Low Key Brill is kind of like a by project rate per month. So there is, I did ask if they had an estimate, and that they did not. So I did ask so you guys could kind of compare apples to apples, but they were not able to give me that outside of their hourly rate. But they did say they had offices in Albany, I think, in like Clifton Park or something. So they wouldn't necessarily be driving from Rochester. But that fee is in, that hourly fee does include their time traveling to sites. So if you,
have we had problems with Loki Brill?
I have not personally.
Yeah, I mean, because I can tell you, we didn't have a construction monitoring
We were.
firm, and then
Yeah.
we were doing that, and then
I can believe it.
I brought them in, and they seem to have worked
Yeah.
really, really well.
And they have, I
Which-
think the thing is that their prices, you know, and again, it's been like, what, 6 years? So their prices have increased a bit. And so I think just understanding what, the option for the variety of projects that may come through in terms of a construction monitoring fee, we just wanted to make sure, that we were looking at all of the options and kind of comparing the costs of this service for
Thought it
projects.
was a good idea to just to have, have things rebid every now and again so that we can see if we are getting a competitive price. It's hard to tell if you don't.
What is the price difference now?
We don't know because the other one just
One
gave
is
us
hourly,
Yeah.
and one is
an hourly
just a
So
fee.
if you
rate,
look,
so it's hard to tell.
That's
Yeah,
why I couldn't find it. I was like,
66 is Loki Brill's price proposal, and now I've lost sorry, and then 53 is the other one's price proposal.
Okay, so on 68, they have the standard rates by the hour, I believe, too, for Loki Bill.
Yes, they have their hourly rates, which seem
They do?
pretty.
Yeah.
Loki Brill's hourly rates, yeah, but I think that is if we needed something kind of outside
Oh,
of,
that's outside the norm.
yeah, outside of the project fees.
so,
Do we know how, sorry, guys.
no, you go.
No, I was just gonna ask how the rates for Loki Bill have gone up.
So, I know Mark is here and knows our bills, so I don't know if he has it, but I believe the projects were paying like $415 a month. And so,
No, it's 500.
well, 500 for projects less than 5 million, which is, so now it's, most of our projects are probably going to fall in the tier 2 range. So now it's going to be like $950 a month. So that was that significant increase that we saw kind of triggering, like, hey, let's kind of see what else is out there.
Well, I mean, that was the question I was going to ask, because I was going to say, are we still charging the projects? Because my view has always been, these are administrative fees that should be passed on
We do.
to the projects. And if the costs go up to do that, then the cost, right.
Yeah. And we hold that in escrow, and we do collect that fee up front, and then it gets paid out of an escrow account monthly.
Again, something else that
Yeah.
was not being done
Yes.
years
So-
ago. So, I mean, we were
Right, but
We
we
were-
do owe it to the client to put our best foot forward on the best pricing. that we can
Absolutely.
get all the costs
Absolutely.
down.
But if you're taking travel time to
Yeah.
Albany, that's 2 hours plus.
Correct.
the site
Yeah,
visit
right.
And how many people are coming for site visit, it might end up being almost the same.
Or more.
And
Yeah.
do they have a minimum in terms of the other one, the hourly one?
So this
Landon Ryan.
was all I got. I
Yeah.
did ask for a little more, like,
Yeah.
could you put some more meat on this? Very nicely. But this was what they could kind of give us as their best fee estimate. So,
So let me ask, how, if we're not comparing apples to apples, are we expected to make a decision about this now, or no?
Well-
Okay.
Take a look at it, go into your packages, take it with you, take a good look at it.
yeah, you can come there. I'm not trying to rush anyone.
Yeah. We're okay for right now, because right now we don't have any projects that are being monitored anyway.
Yeah, we're okay at
Okay,
the moment.
so we're okay.
I think the thing, it would just be that under our policies for professional service contracts, we don't have to go with the lowest bid.
No.
You guys can kind of use your best judgment. You can consider a variety of factors when deciding who we want to choose as a vendor for this. So.
And I think we could go back to the newcomer and ask them for something that would be easier for us to compare.
Could we ask them to make it so we're doing apples to apples? I mean, could we give them a project or two from last year as like a
Mhm.
case study, so to speak, and
yeah, I
say,
mean,
what
I
would this
could-
have cost under your fees?
Yeah, I think, I could try and see what they respond. I did try to ask, like, what do you think this would cost a month? So we could compare apples to apples, and I wasn't
Because
able
we know
to
what
get that.
Look Real did cost and will cost. So if we say this is
Yeah.
Yeah.
Example.
example A,
Yeah, we could, I think that would be
I could-
helpful, because it's, you know, they must have some experience as to how much time these kinds of services usually take. And, I get their point. They don't want to sit around for, they show up at the place and then they have to wait for 4 hours because somebody's not available.
Right.
I get that. But the other side of it is we really do have an obligation to be cost effective for our clients.
How about this? And what I'm just kind of thinking out loud. I'm going to ask them if they can give a monthly fee. Because the other thing is that, like you just mentioned, Steve, I don't know if it's fair to projects that this cost fluctuates per month. It would make it hard for us to put a certain amount in escrow. Because what if they do have to sit there for 5 hours one day, and then they get that month, we're paying a $3,000 monitoring bill, and the month prior we were paying a $400 monitoring bill. It's going to be hard for us to know what those costs are if it's changing monthly.
Also to streamline this process where it's not, inundating Loki Brill all the time or whoever the monitoring service is going to be, is also to educate whoever's going to be on site as the contractor or whoever the client is, to make sure that all this material is available when somebody comes. They know they're coming once a month or once a week or bi-weekly, whatever, bi-monthly. This paperwork should be easily ascertained, okay? Workman's comp, a list of all employees, exactly. That we live in a day of the time of monitoring. I mean, this should be in a job trailer at any site, and we know it, and we'll have to educate some people a little better moving ahead too to help out. That is also going to keep our hourly rates down with Loki Brill. You can walk in there and you get, I mean, I do it every day. I walk into a job trailer, I get a package, I'm out and out of there in 15 minutes, unless I got to foil them.
Is what you're saying something we could put in our documents when these people sign and get?
Yeah, they're under obligation.
So make it mandatory that these things, that you don't have to have a person to sit here and go through. When they walk in the door, they're to be handed A, B, C, D, E, F, and G.
I think governance has already got that on his radar.
Okay.
And
You can fold it into the uniform project agreement.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, and if you go through this, it kind of it alludes to a lot of that. It talks about, their initial setup visit, all the certificates they're expecting them to have, and we can make sure that, it really depends on what firm you want to go to, but Loki Brill kind of has this setup packet already ready.
As the chair said, governance is going to look at structure of how applicants perform and what do they get in terms of a package as well, not only the timelines and things like that. So we'll be adding that.
Yeah. I'm sort of biased. I know we've worked with Loki Brill for a very, very long time now. Chris is familiar with them.
They do. I see them a lot in IDA work. They're kind of
That's what they do. Yeah.
Listen, Loki Brill has done a really good job.
Yeah.
And you know what? As per our policies, we have to put it out for RFP. And once again, I'll piggyback on what we said originally. We owe the client for every opportunity to keep the costs down. And you got your packages, so let's any questions, bomb them over to Hillary.
Yeah, and I'll bring back.
Get them to Chris. Yes, he's familiar with them in 8 different counties.
Sorry, Chair. The only thing I would say is they're going to answer any question you provide.
Correct.
The new, what's the name, Ryan.
Yeah.
And they want the work. So, and they're going to be used to getting these types of questions in terms of provide us X, provide us Y, so we can have an apples to apples comparison. They're not going to.
All right. Yeah, I will follow back up and I'll see if I can get a monthly cost. So, and then we'll have it ready for the February meeting for everyone to review, and we can go from there.
Yeah, because
If they're able to generate that.
You got your answer.
That's the answer.
We'll see how easy they are to work with right now. So
Yeah.
they can't work with us before we hire them.
The thing they sent you was like, what was that? It was kind of non-responsive.
Maybe what Hillary could also do is maybe we could just reach out a little bit to people that, we have who they've used before, landed, get a little background check on them, get a
Given
little,
a bunch of examples, right?
that's all.
They should have given,
They
and
did.
I was gonna say, I apologize, I haven't memorized
There's
it.
some tough companies on there
Yeah.
they work for too, Whiting Turner and a couple other people.
Yeah, but we did
Yeah,
ask.
Whiting's on
for
there.
them.
Yeah, that was a nightmare to walk in that job.
Um,
They don't want to give you, they don't want to give you a pencil.
Where are they based?
Boy,
When I was in Baltimore when I started my practice.
I had New York City.
Where?
I was in Baltimore for 7 years when I started as a lawyer, and I think Whiting Turner did a lot of jobs in the Mid-Atlantic area. They were
Everywhere,
a monster.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Are you from Baltimore?
I'm from the middle of the state, I'm not here, but my dad's from outside of Baltimore, and I've got a lot of family down there.
Whiting
Oh, they
Turner,
live
Whiting Turner's just did the Kingston Hospital.
Me too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, they did that.
Yeah.
I miss it.
That's what I was thinking, I've
Good
seen
folks.
them around here.
The
Yeah.
crabs.
They're in Rockland all the time, Westchester. They're big. They're really big.
Yeah, they're big company.
You know, they're a good company.
So,
Yeah.
just to clarify, I did reach out to them and said, I saw that you listed an hourly rate. What do you estimate the monthly cost of service, including the site visit, or can you point me to where in the, maybe I was just overlooking it. And they said, the cost per hour is inclusive of mileage, tolls, and travel costs. So depending on the project size and the site visit costs would be a hourly rate based on the number of hours spent on the site. We weren't sure of the size and number of your projects, so we could only put a load hourly rate together. That is something we have negotiated with clients in the past, and that they're based out of Albany and Saratoga Springs in terms of travel distance. So that was the response that I know. So now everyone knows what I know.
Okay, so let me ask this. So I think your idea or Mike's idea to send them a project that we have
Yeah, and get an idea.
and get it. So in an effort to be fair, do the same thing with Loki.
Well, we know Loki's gonna be.
Did-
Yeah, because
did we-
they're giving us, they
The
gave
current
us
one,
that. Yeah,
but that had
this.
under the new current rate, the rates they're proposing now.
Oh, we know.
Oh,
we
so
do
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
okay,
we have all
okay.
of that. And we know their monthly costs, and I will give them a project size and a location and just say, could you,
Okay.
and then also, I don't want to take a step too far, but I'm guessing we also want to enter into a contract with a monthly fee, not just a guess of what a monthly fee would be, right?
Manage our costs.
Yeah. So it's not
Yes.
We want to have predictable costs.
Yeah.
exactly. So
That's easier
There
to
you
convey
go.
to the client.
That's
too.
for the
Yeah.
applicants,
Yeah.
I mean, so that way
Yes.
they're gonna know.
What it's gonna be.
We have
Predictable
unlimited-
I like it.
Right, no cap.
No
Exactly.
cap,
Yeah.
I stopped at the rest area for a couple hours, I needed a nap.
yeah.
And last time it was,
Yeah, all the
right,
way.
and last time it was this, and now it's that, yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to,
So it's just like it's not
It has
just
to be
good enough to say what this would cost for that
Yeah.
particular month for that particular project. We want a monthly cost.
Well, you want to know something without, I'm not being vindictive here, but, hypothetically, whoever we hire, if they fail us,
Yeah.
there's
put
a
it out there.
parachute there, so, we're all good. So, okay, you got your packets on that.
All right, so we'll bring that back
Okay.
to the board next month.
The monitoring, Steve?
Monitoring,
Should be page
89?
89.
Yeah,
And,
and thick paper.
Yeah, it is.
right?
It is.
Yeah.
Our-
Like 4 tree trunks.
we had to have this printed because our printer in the office cannot handle this much paper. It will die.
Okay.
So it's 89. I don't really have anything to add to
Okay.
the report.
Question for council. Is this project now finalized? Is Euphoria done?
Which one is this?
Euphoria.
Yeah, I got
They're done, right?
That's it.
I have the binder. It came yesterday.
Okay. All right. Just had a quick
So
question.
we are done. We have now all of our projects are finished, and I believe all of them have the ones that are now year one of their pilot period.
Okay. All righty.
Very good.
Thank you, Steve. Finance, Rachel?
So we have Mark here to present our fourth quarter finances.
Mark, come on down.
So
The numbers I'm gonna go over, just wanna note that they're not audited as of yet. We do anticipate some 2024 expenses to come in, so even though I'm going to say we were under budget we came in under budget for the year, I think we're gonna be about break even on our budget, once the final bills do come in. So this is the 12-month activity for 2024, ending 12/31. There were no project fee closings in 24. So that was a big, that's a big revenue line that we did not have fees, but we did have the administrative fees, some miscellaneous fees and interest income. So with that, revenue was 56,000 compared to a budget of 159,000. So we're about 100,000 under budget on revenue. The good thing is, though, most of the expenditure lines were also under budget in 2024, so that helped immensely. So some of the big expenses for the IDA are both salaries and benefits. They came in under budget, as well as legal fees are right about online, but we do anticipate one more bill to come in there, so that line might be slightly over budget. Accounting fees, payroll, and rent all came in under budget compared to what we thought it would be. So with that, the expenditures for the IDA were 293,000 compared to a budget of 418. So all that came in, so 129,000 under budget. So with that, the deficit for the agency was 235 compared to a budget deficit of 259. So we were actually over, but we were under budget by 23,000 there. We do anticipate the audit to go smoothly. It starts on Monday, January 27th. With that, with the auditors, we will be preparing the annual Paris reporting that is due at the exact same time. It is due by March 31st to the State Controller's Office. We anticipate an on-time filing with that as well, and that will be presented in the March meeting with the audited financial statements.
So with no project closings in zone 24, I mean, Paris should be pretty clean.
Yep. It's going to be the basically the same reporting as last year, just with the new rates put in for the projects.
Any questions? No? Awesome.
Thanks.
Motion to approve.
No,
Wait, question?
no, so the deficit was narrower than we had anticipated.
Correct.
So I'm assuming with what we got coming in for 2025, we could probably close that and be at a profit at the end of, not a profit, but
Yeah, right.
the end of surplus. Yeah, that's the word.
And
Yeah,
it really
surplus.
depends on, I mean, the project
Depends on the
closings
project.
are
Yeah,
depending on the
project.
size of the
The
size of
project.
the project, but yes,
Yeah.
Move
two
us in the right
projects
direction.
can easily move you.
Yeah, we wrote a
Right, right.
break-even budget that we did for October. With the anticipation that a lot of projects that we've been working with, will kind of be moving forward in 2025.
And in that thought process, Hillary and I talked about it. We had mapped out projects, but they weren't coming before the board yet. So why put that in a budget if they haven't officially come through yet?
Yep, correct.
I think that jinx thing.
Yes, early.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mark.
I'll second your motion to approve.
Thank you.
All in favor to accept the
Aye.
report? Thank you. Anything else, Rach?
No, that's it.
Okay. Costume governance.
Thank you, Chair. Not much to report. We will be meeting early February. And in that meeting, we will discuss a few follow-up items. One majorly being the administrative fees. And we'll provide a written comment and change as need be. We'll also discuss a few other points, one being a longer term, as I said, structure that applicant sees in terms of how the application proceeds. We'll also look at a potential, and Hillary, help me out how you want to phrase this one, but a potential grant program, if you may, from UCCRC. It's not exactly a grant program, but we're thinking about, and Hillary brought it up and with Chair Ham as well, If there is a not-for-profit agency, they have a grant approved, but they cannot get the money until they have spent it. So it could be potentially an opportunity for IDA to support that entity by
CRC.
providing CRC to provide
I have not told Chris yet, so I know he's.
Grants and IDA.
not CRC, not IDA, CRC.
Yeah, would not be a grant program.
Yeah. No, we are not
yeah.
a grant program, but be a bridge, if you may, such that from
Yeah.
the time that they receive the funding approval to the time when they have spent it and to receive the grant money.
Do they pay it back? Would they pay it?
They'll pay it back to
Back?
us.
So so the
So
idea.
it's a stopgap measure, essentially.
Exactly. So like, let's say we.
No, I understand.
Okay,
I
yeah.
understand. I was actually going to say we should probably think about something like that for the IDA side. You mentioned this group that you've set aside for smaller, because one of the things that was always very troubling to me is that there are smaller businesses
Yes.
in this county that can't afford what we do, the fees and so on and so forth. And I think it would be nice, if possible, if we could provide some of the surplus to those businesses that are trying to, if it's a
Yeah.
small web developing firm and they need something,
So
I
that's
think
the
it would-
CRC.
So that's
So that's an
exactly
allowable
how
use
we're
of
thinking about it.
CRC. Not to
CRC.
interrupt, that's a CRC fund use. The IDA can't make that kind of loan.
okay, so the CRC
But from
can do
CRC
that
we can-
to a not for profit.
Or
You remember back in the day when we had the incubators all come into us, all the
Right.
people?
That's
Everything was CRC.
was
back
it
then.
right?
Yeah.
CRC.
Right.
So I think, my conversation with Costa was that this will be on the agenda for the governance committee in February. And then I think depending on where the governance committee decides to go and what gets approved by the board, it's kind of in the back of your mind, think about, our mission as stated for the CRC, because it's kind of, it's narrow. The word primarily is there, which means there could be things that are less primarily about, bonding for nonprofits. But I think we want to look at what tools the CRC has in order to better serve the broader business community.
So we would have to
Sorry.
move
Well,
money from the IDA
No,
to
Can't
this.
do that.
Can't transfer
Yeah,
that
that's
one.
what I
We
was
can
gonna
move from one to the
No.
other.
we're
Because
not-
they don't make
To transfer money from the
No.
IDA.
UCCRC doesn't make a lot of
You know,
money. Let's
go
do
around.
it.
But you want to know something? Speaking of money on the UCCRC end, I've talked to Hillary and Costup. We're going to have to restructure this. We're going to have to walk this along, so to speak, and we'll have to cap it somewhere.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because we can only do so much. I
There's
always say
so much
we're an
outstanding.
entity to help. We can't solve a lot of problems, but we can always help.
Yeah.
So, and you want to know something? When Costup does have his governance meeting and topics like this come up, and I know everybody's interested in this helping out, you know what I mean? You should come to the governance meeting. You guys have input on all these boards, so you know what I mean.
Yeah, they're just
Good ideas come from a lot of great places. So
Jared, the only thing I would is I have a number of IDA and CRC clients that do this very thing through their
Yeah,
CRC,
yeah.
so I can give you some examples.
No, that'd be
That would be
great.
helpful.
Yeah.
And this meeting is not going to be for a recommendation or resolution immediately. We're This
you're
opening the
still
discussion up.
exploring.
And as Hillary and I did discuss, as a matter of fact, we do want to think about similar options. We don't know what the option exactly is, but similar opportunities for small to mid-sized businesses as well, as you said.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
think
important.
that's very,
Yes.
very important.
Yeah.
Because they're locked out of
Yes.
getting the help that they need
High percentages
for something that we should be doing, and they're
They have
smaller,
greater
and we
risk.
need to figure out a way to accommodate
Yep.
them in a way that is beneficial.
Well, it provides longevity, right?
Yeah, I mean, even if it's something as simple as providing a consultant for business management or whatever for them, as opposed to what we used to do, having, a farm co-op and we just gave them money. I mean, it's just, well,
I have one that just sits at the top of my head, and I'll share it with you after the meeting, and you're going to remember immediately.
Yeah, it's like the same groups every single time, and it was like, there's no relation to what we do here. So
So we're excited.
Yeah. So, you
Go
know,
ahead, Steve.
So I think we need to execute on our main mission.
Yes.
And that should be our main
Exactly.
focus, and I don't think we should get too distracted on things that we'd like to do before we do the things we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And we need to have some activity, we need to really focus on that.
another, just since we're talking about governance, another idea I want to throw at you is that I think it would be nice if we somehow were able to come up with something that would encourage and spur development in smaller places like Ellenville or Highland, that we were able to create an incentive that would help move stuff from always
you mean
being
like
in
economic development?
in economic development, so that we can get people to come
Yeah.
to us to help build some of these other areas of the county, and not have everything so concentrated in, the biggest urban center, which makes sense, but it doesn't help.
You know, Randall, I think that the outreach that Hillary is currently on her tour of Ulster County, not waiting for people to come to us, but actually bringing it towards them to get them to come in, I think that is going to walk hand in hand with what you're suggesting also here.
Yeah.
You know?
I also want to add the majority of businesses that we're working with are not based in Kingston. So as you see projects start to come, they're not, there may be a few, I can't think off the top of my head. There's a few probably in Kingston, but the majority are not in Kingston. So, there's some stuff coming in other parts of the county, which is nice to see, there's opportunity coming.
At the same time, I think we have to think about the whole county.
Yeah.
Not a few areas, and as Steve said, we should keep our eye on the ball.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things we're discussing are for the long term as well.
Right.
So while we're doing the true business, we can also handle a few other things that we should be thinking about.
We want to kind
Next
of get
steps.
them, I think the idea is to have these set up, these infrastructure pieces in place. So that way, once, we're kind of moving and firing on all cylinders, we have all these tools available to us as hopefully the entity grows and is able to do more. So.
And I think Steve is correct. We got to stay focused on what we're doing here every day as a board and start bringing projects through. This way, when Mark gives his report in 2026, he can say, woo, we were busy in the first quarter.
So maybe that's the cue for
Looking
me to
forward
stop
to it.
talking and hand it back to
We're
Chair.
looking forward to it. Thank you, Costu. Thanks for that report. Old business, status of pending projects and pending enforcement matters. Chris?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, pending transactions, we're down to Cresco. I know Hillary's had some contact with them that she talked about the last meeting.
No change.
And pending enforcement, Kingstonian, that one we have modification documents that we're gonna get out to the company. I don't know if we've already done that, I'll check.
I don't have a.
That's in process.
Okay. New business. Chris, once again.
Well, I don't wanna steal Hillary's.
Well,
thunder.
I'll tell you what, before you start, Hillary, why don't you give a quick snapshot of what we're doing on this, with this resolution and who approached us?
Do you want me to have them? They're here.
Do they want to come in?
Oh, they're here. I'm saying.
Oh, I didn't even know
Do
you were
you
there.
want me to?
Oh, I didn't
Do you
know.
want me to introduce them?
Sure, that would be great.
All right. So before you will
Well,
have
why don't
a.
you brief everybody on what's going on before we
Well,
introduce?
yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
I
you.
wasn't gonna say
Thank
before
you.
you is this
Thank you.
guy.
Everybody going, okay, who's this guy? Yeah.
No, before you is a resolution for the New Paltz Way Hotel LLC project to be moved forward to public hearing. The New Paltz Way Hotel project has come to the IDA seeking incentives. It, in my opinion, is a phenomenal project that really fits with what New Paltz is looking to do. They've been working hard these last few months, and are here with us today to kind of give everyone maybe a little snapshot and understanding of their projects. I'd like to introduce Jesse Halliburton you can come on down from the New Paltz Way project to tell everyone a little bit about their project, and then
And while Jesse's speaking, just so you know, you can go to page
gonna
1
say,
of the packet.
you
and
have
that's the application.
a copy of the application that they've submitted to the IDA, as well as all of the attached documents.
Page 1 after the resolution.
102.
What do you got?
Page 102.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at the wrong number.
No,
Okay.
yours is 102 too.
Yeah, I'm looking at page 1.
Oh.
I'm saying page 1. Sorry. Sorry.
No, page 102, you'll find the application. We're not going to go into them.
No.
We're not going to be reviewing the entire application today, but you have it there for reference. Go ahead, Jeff.
And just remember, this is only to get the resolution for the public hearing. That's it. The whole board has to go through this yet. Okay, so.
Thanks for lending the time here. I appreciate that. So this project is a 28-room hotel on the edge of the rail trail, also on the edge of town. Our model is one that we like to be in the center of town to basically have all of our guests, give them the ability to run out and experience the town for what it is, patronize those businesses, and I don't know how much you guys know about us, but we're the owners of the Woodstock Way Hotel, and in that particular case, we have driven a lot of business to the businesses within the community, and it's been great for them overall. We don't have, our model is basically guest rooms, not a restaurant. We do have we would have a coffee shop in this case, similar to the one that we have in Woodstock. And then in this particular case in New Paltz, we will also have a self-led spa, giving the guests the ability to stay with us, spend the day on the rail trail, spend the day maybe kayaking down the Wallkill River, taking the River to Ridge Trail, exploring the area, getting their exercise in, and then being able to come back, relax a little bit, take their self-led spa tour, which consists of a salt room, steam, and sauna, as well as a mineral bath, and then relax again, and then get ready to go out for dinner with their friends or family, etc. This project is, as I said, 28 rooms. It's about 25,000 square feet. It will have a living roof. It will have solar. We are at the moment approved by the Village of New Paltz. We were approved for 26 rooms and a restaurant, but realized the restaurant was too small to make any sense out of it. So then we went back, we changed that resolution, met with the zoning board, met with the planning board again, and changed it to 28 rooms without the restaurant. So we have parking for 30 spaces. We have been in contact with the Wallkill Valley Land Trust. We have resolutions with the Wallkill Valley Land Trust for our guests to be able to walk over easements that end up on the rail trail. We have met with the mayor and the tax assessor's office and worked through the taxes over the next decade ahead of us. We are probably 15% away from completing our full construction drawings. We're just now waiting on our MEP engineer to finalize his drawing, and the plans will then be submitted eventually to the building department for review. And provided we are able to get through this and have your assistance, we're hoping that we can break ground at some point this year.
Where in New Paltz is this?
It's
Is it on Water Street?
11 Water Street.
That's the red barn
That's the red
building
one. Exactly.
there?
Can you see that from your house?
No, I'm under
You're here too.
I'm under the tower.
Oh, okay.
I live, yeah, I live,
In New
It's
Malta?
a really great project.
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah,
really
it's,
good. Old warehouse that's been
yeah.
in dismal shape
No, it's, yeah,
forever,
it's
and
just on the
right next
corner
to
there by
Water
the,
Street
by the market.
Right
Yeah.
on, right off of Main Street where people could walk to all the shops.
That was another project, Water Street Market.
yeah,
Was.
actually from the Water Street
Yeah.
Market, if you look down, you
Yeah,
can
I know.
see
Yeah,
our,
their parking lot.
where our project will be.
That building's been kind of sort of dormant for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Any other questions for Jesse?
I do, I just have one. Just, you
Please.
mentioned 25,000 square feet. You have to publish the public hearing notice and have to describe it. I thought it was 20,000 in the application. Am
Yeah, I
off?
think it was 21,000 in the app, but I think if I'm correct, it's 24,000 square feet. So I'll confirm that.
Yeah, we've got a little time before we
yeah.
publish it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
Do we need a motion?
Let's get Chris to go over the guidelines of the resolution quick.
So, obviously, we need to hold a public hearing for this one because the applicant's asking for more than $100,000 in financial assistance through the different exemptions. So this resolution, as the chair alluded to, just authorizes holding a public hearing with respect to the project. Nothing more, no formal approval yet.
Thank you, Chris. Everybody understands what Chris just explained?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take a roll call vote to accept the resolution.
First and second.
Oh, first and second, can I get a motion? I'm sorry.
Motion to accept the resolution.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, can I now get a roll call vote to accept the motion? Michael Ham, yes. Joseph Ferraro?
Yes.
Rachel Silverman?
Yes.
Randall Everett?
Yes.
Trevor Kerwin?
Yes.
Stephen Kelly?
Yes.
Costi Well?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll get the public hearing posted.
Thank you so much, all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jesse, thank you very much. Thanks for
Thanks for
coming in.
coming in.
Thanks for coming in.
All right.
Okay. Chris, anything else
No, sir.
on new business? Nothing else on new business? Anyone? Motion for adjournment?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Do you want to take a quick break? Do you want to roll right in?
Quick, let's finish her up.
Okay, let me
Did you
find
second that,
it.
Joe?
No. Randall and Costu.
Costume.
First and second.
Thank you.
Everybody said it at once.
Yeah, sometimes if I'm not looking, I can't tell who's
Adjournment, right?
Okay, let's roll right into the UCCRC. Okay, January 15th. It is, what is that, 10:10?
Yeah.
10:10. Roll call, Michael Ham, present. Rachel Silverman,
Present.
Joseph Ferrara,
Present.
Trevor Kerwin, Randall Everett,
Present.
Stephen Kelly,
Present.
and Costi Well.
Present.
Thank you very much. The mission statement of the Ulster County Capital Resource Corporation is to promote community and economic development in Ulster County in ways that complement the work of Ulster County, primarily through the issuing and selling bonds for nonprofit institutions. In front of you, you'll have the December 18th, 2024 minutes from the meeting. I ask that you review them, and I'll accept a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public comment on agenda items only. Nobody likes this anymore. Chair's report. Let the chair's report from the UCIDA reflect the chair's report for the UCCRC. With that, I'll hand it over to Hillary.
So I'd like to let the executive director's report from the UCIDA reflect that of the UCCRC, with the exception that I would also like the board to consider our secretary, Joe Ferraro, being the second signer on all of the CRC accounts.
I move that Joe Ferraro be added as a second signee on our bank accounts.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Do we need a vote on that? We don't need anything on that, right? Okay. All right. Thank you, Hillary. Committee reports, audit. Steve? Finance? Rachel?
We're gonna have Mark back for UCCRC's fourth quarter finances.
Just let the minutes reflect that the, audit and the requirements with Paris that were mentioned in the IDA be reflected in the CRC minutes as well. With that, I'll just quickly go over the Q4, which is the end of the year report for the Capital Resource Corporation. So there was $500 in administrative fees. There were no bond closings in '24, so the only other revenue for the corporation was interest income. So with that, the total income to the corporation was about $4,000. Most expenses for the corporation are basically paid to the IDA. So they have the 5% share to the for the CRC for the IDA expenses, with the exception of accounting fees. So with that, total expenses for the corporation was about $24,000. So with that, there was a deficit of about $20,000. Other than the anticipated legal expense that we should be receiving for Q4, there will be some pass through here, so there will be some additional deficit to the corporation.
Okay. Questions?
We still get paid from Woodland Pond, don't we, for bonds?
That's that administrative fee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we collected. That's that's our only CRC project we're collecting fees on. So.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, Mark, thank you.
Sorry.
Rachel, anything else?
We should get a motion.
Oh, let's get a motion to
Motion
approve
to
the
accept the
report. Yeah.
report.
I'll
So
second
moved.
that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, governance?
I'll go in. So moved.
I knew somebody was gonna say that. No, please let the records reflect that the UCCRC report is the same as the UCIDA report, including the comment we discussed for UCCRC in the UCIDA discussion.
Okay, thank you, Costi. Any old business? Is there any old business? Any new business? Any new business? Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.